So now that we are in the lockdown period of 2020, and there's not many
locked up, won't let me out.
We're at a point where everything's locked off, so there's not many news, not many things happening. We've got a little segment now, which
sorry. I just find it hilarious that DC was like, all right, there's no news. There's nothing going on. Now tell them. Tell them now. Now's the time.
If you listened last week, we did a segment called Surviving Professor X, which was actually pretty enjoyable. We spoke about Professor X.
Oh! One point I forgot to say, because I told you I was been watching animated series of X-Men. Professor Xavier, because obviously after us doing like Surviving Professor X and watching the old school, I was like, whoa. And then I was like, this motherfucker, he's there helping everybody else out, with their mental stuff, blocking it out. And then Storm's got the easiest thing to block out her claustrophobia.
Man's not touching her. He does not help her out.
Rachel.
Doesn't help.
Rachel.
Racist.
Trying to keep the black woman down. The one thing I'll say is that, sorry, we'll get to what we were. But I was trying to read X-Men today, not realizing that I'd already read it. And as soon as I saw Professor Xavier, it's got the characters, and there he was. I was like, this dickhead. And I thought to myself, wow, I think I officially don't like Professor Xavier anymore.
It's hurtful. I was like, I really love the X-Men. I was like, kind of got to look at you with a side eye. But yes, as you were saying, Rich, sorry, go ahead. You listened to us last week. Last week's Surviving Professor X.
So this week we're doing a heroes to villains storyline list. We'll be talking about some of the storylines that changes heroes into villains. Let's start off with the first one. This also comes from ScreenRant.com, this list here. So they used to do a really good podcast actually, but they've stopped doing it now. All the guys left. It was really good.
No.
I didn't know that. I just watched them on YouTube.
No, there was good guys that used to do the podcast. They're good, man. But anyway, so
creative
with the first one, we've got Injustice, Gods Among Us. This one in 2013, Injustice, Gods Among Us has a tie-in to the video game. Superman gets some good news. After years of trying, Lois is finally pregnant. Refusing to give up her job as a reporter, she accompanies Jimmy Olsen to investigate a tip at the Metropolis docks, where she is kidnapped by the Joker. When Superman finally finds them, Harley Quinn sprays him with kryptonite-laced fear toxin. When Superman appears to see Doomsday and tackles him into space. This was all a hallucination. The figure Clark was seeing as Doomsday was really Lois Lane. As Lois dies, Joker reveals that he had attached a detonator for a nuclear bomb to her heart. The nuke goes off, destroying Metropolis. Superman doesn't let Joker gloat. Instead, he rips the clown's heart right out of his chest. The Kryptonian then began killing every dangerous villain on the face of the earth, from everyday murderers to iconic villains like Solomon Grundy. Superman issues an ultimatum to the entire world. They will stop killing each other or they will face the consequences. This doesn't sit well with Batman and many other DC superheroes who vow to bring an end to his violence. By the time the Injustice video game rolled around, Superman had become the ruler of the entire Earth, killing all who opposed him. Luckily for DC characters, this is an alternate, albeit terrifying universe. So yeah.
I mean, I don't really see what's wrong here. Maybe it's me. You kind of took the piss, really. You killed my woman and our baby and Metropolis. Yeah, I feel like it's warranted. Like pent up aggression for saving people for like half of my generation of my life as Superman, and yeah, I mean, obviously it's bad, but I understand it.
You know what? Yeah, it's like I can get this. I can understand this. It's like this is his woman. Like Lois Lane is his woman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's Lois Lane.
Yeah.
To me, I've always said like Lois Lane is like the perfect woman because she completely has her man's back and she supports. She just supports her man. I think she's a dope character. Yeah, really, really well written. Yeah.
But she does her own shit as well.
And she's independent as well. So she's not all on his shit. She does her own shit. She's her own hero in her own right. So Lois Lane is dope. I think she's such a dope character. So that's Superman's woman. And then he finally, after years of trying, I didn't even know that part of the story about the years of trying part. I just knew that she was pregnant. And bear in mind, Superman has saved the world numerous amounts of times. He saved the universe, the multiverse from godlike beings, and the clown, from a backyard neighboring city, who fights a guy with no superpowers, managed to manipulate me. So, I get it. You know, like Joker, like Lex Luthor didn't do that.
For real.
You know what I mean? The Joker did. It wasn't Darkseid.
Yeah.
It wasn't Darkseid. It wasn't Brainiac. It was one of Batman's villains.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I bet Batman's a little bit salty as well. Like, raw, like.
You didn't put that effort for me.
In it? Like, he's like, what? So Superman's getting all your attention now. Like,
yeah.
All
those two. But having said that, I haven't read the comics, but I watched like, you know, you got Comic Story, and then I also watched the cutscenes of the game. Superman.
I know
rogue.
Our friend Sean, who has been on the podcast before, we did the Black Panther review, and he was there live. I know he's I'm sure he's read the comic. But yeah,
he has. He and brother Sean, both Sean's were reading it. I was keeping in tabs with it through the other way that I was saying. I couldn't be bothered to collect those, man. If it was like a comic that had like an end site, but it's like year 1, year 2, year 3 game, and then it turned into Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn got popular all of a sudden, and then it was all Harley Quinn. I was like, I'm done.
But are we actually saying, okay, is Superman in this instance a baddie or just a really
he's a baddie?
Because it's not like
he's bad guy. Like
I'm just trying to help him out. I'm like,
he kills Green Arrow.
No!
He kills a lot of people. A lot of people that deserve it as well. He just went nuts.
He went ham.
Do you know what though? It proves the joke. It proves the Joker's point. If you've read The Killing Joke, the Joker always said in The Killing Joke, all it takes is one bad day. One bad day.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Yeah. And then he gave Superman his bad day.
Yeah. Do you think he would have spazzed out that way if, like, I don't know, like it was Supergirl that he had killed, like his cousin or some shit?
I don't think so.
Probably not. But I think because the baby was there as well, right? The baby was inside her, so he had to go. He had to go. But then he just turned.
I even think if it was one of his parents, he wouldn't have done it either. I don't think he would have. You know, I just feel like because it was Lois. That's why they wrote it. It had to be Lois Lane. She had that's the situation.
She's his ultimate kryptonite, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Like there's nothing else. Okay. Oh, bad Superman, naughty, but we understand. Yeah. Okay.
What's on this list?
Okay, so next we've got Armageddon 2001. This another one I haven't read. So back in 1991. DC came up with a story.
Damn, that's a long time.
It's a long time ago. DC came up with a story of Armageddon 2001. The tale takes place in a near dystopian future where an evil figure known as the Monarch ruled over the world with an iron fist. The Monarch's identity was a mystery. All that was known was that he was once one of the heroes in the DC universe before he turned evil and killed all his comrades. a scientist donning the name Wave Rider, which was paid tribute to Legends of Tomorrow. Don't know if you guys watched that on the CW. Travelled back in time in order to destroy the dictator before he could turn evil. The main issues of the series focused on Wave Rider using his powers to look into the potential future of each DC hero. West placed into witness protection, Guy Gardner starting his own cult, and Superman being elected president of the United States are all destinies suggested by Wave Rider. In the end, the identity of the Monarch is revealed to be B-list superhero, spoilers, Hulk. This wasn't the original case. From the beginning, DC had intended the Monarch to be Captain Atom. This plan was aborted after the ending got leaked. Fans were furious at the last minute change. It would have been shocking to turn one of their most popular characters into a villain, but the company instead wussed out. DC realised its mistake and later retconned the Monarch's origin into being one and the same as Captain Adam's fall from grace in the Battle of Bloodhaven story. So yeah, this one I haven't read, so yeah. It sounds.
I haven't read it either, so that happened.
I guess that happened.
I don't even know that one, man.
We're just like, okay, cool, DC, why are you wussing out? Why are you wussing out? Why are you leaking stuff? You ain't got time to be leaking stuff. Not even back then.
Yeah. even so, but, I think it would have been a good It might have been a good adaptation to put on Legends of Tomorrow, or on the CW Legends of Tomorrow. Maybe they did. Maybe I haven't seen that episode, but that probably would be a good adaptation.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you saw that episode, please. Or if you're watching this episode later, just hit us up.
Yeah.
Let us know. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't watch that.
But we like surprise villains who are good people. We like it. Kind of good. Go ahead.
Warren Worthington III.
The second.
Warren Worthington III.
Esquire.
So Warren Worthington III is, if you don't know, Angel.
Don't know. You should.
AKA Archangel.
Archangel.
Oh, I love him. Like every time I saw him, I was like, oh, he's wings. And then I always get excited to see him after Apocalypse, sorts him out. No, he didn't sort him out, but you know what I mean. And then it's just,
he made it better.
Yeah, it's never as good as the animated series. He's like I just wanted to always see him with those wings. But I just love. I don't know why I love Archangel. I don't know why. I don't know why I love Archangel.
Funny, Archangel was my introduction to that character. Like obviously, we saw it in the X-Men where he was Angel, and then he gets to him. But for me, it was Archangel.
Okay.
I'd never seen him in the comics or a cartoon as Angel until the 2000s when X-Men Evolution came out. So anyway, what happened to him?
Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here.
You're doing very well.
Worthington III has been around the X-Men since the beginning. He was one of the founding members of the team and has been a reoccurring character of the franchise ever since. Naturally, the famous X-Man has had his run-ins with major Marvel baddie Apocalypse. When it looked like Warren had been killed in a fiery plane crash, Apocalypse appeared before him, offering him power beyond his wildest power among your wildest imagination. Is
Apocalypse is an Eternal, right? Or is it just me?
Is he an
Eternal?
I don't think.
I don't know if he's an Eternal, but he is.
He is Eternal. No, he was one of the first mutants, and he's got technology from the what are they called? The Celestials.
Future.
So he's got celestial technology.
Cool. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Power. Okay, cool. Cool. Go ahead.
So Apocalypse offered him power beyond his wildest imagination if he simply fought alongside the villain. At that point in time, Angel was suffering depression due to the loss of his wings. He quickly agreed, was given blue skin and metal wings, and Archangel was born. Worthington has tethered between hero and villain ever since. So yeah.
In my opinion, I feel like Apocalypse did him a favor.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't really know much of Angel, and from what I do know, he didn't really do much but look pretty.
Looked pretty and had money.
Pretty much. I mean, we didn't get to see the extent of his actual powers. I know obviously he had beautiful wings, but like, was he able to shoot like sharp feathers from them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like supersonic.
And the other thing is that he didn't have any super strength. What was that? I think it was a Flash comic I was reading, but this relates to Warren Worthington. He's running.
Who, the Flash?
Yeah, the Flash is running. And somebody said, the Flash is running. Or Warren Worthington, he's flying. He's flying. Yeah? He's doing his bird thing, yeah? And then it's like, oh no, you know, Storm has gone unconscious for whatever reason. We got to catch her. Warren Worthington's like, I'm sorry, man, I ain't got superhuman strength. What are you going to do?
That's ridiculous.
But
meanwhile,
Archangel now,
yeah, Archangel's,
catches up. He's off.
Yeah. Because when I was watching like the animated series, because I was binge watching season 1 and season 2, and then I refused to watch season 3 because I was telling Rich, I was like, it hurt my feelings.
That animation was lacking, boy.
When obviously it was terrible. Like when
that story with that cool medieval story with Jubilee telling the.
That reminds me of
Wolverine was like a
now, man.
Get out.
It reminds me of Excalibur right now. That's the kind of story that it's telling, man.
Oh my god, terrible. I was watching that episode and I was like, this makes me sick. I need to watch that. But anyway,
those Koreans worked hard.
Look, I'm glad you made your own cinema, Korea, because it's great. Just don't do that again. Just don't like it. But yeah, like when Archangel was in the TV show, and then again, he didn't have any super strength, and then obviously he went and got like new wings because Mystique, like whatever. And then he was just boss level. Yeah, he was bad. Like, he was just like, boom, just out here. You know what I mean? He's got missiles coming out of his wings, and you know. I was talking
about the other week. If you read Rick Remender's X-Force, Uncanny X-Force, he is sick in that, man. He is so sick. And the thing is, he's drawn really good as well. But his character is sick, and he's going through. Okay. He's just going through this stuff where he's still crazy. He's still a bit crazy, and he's angry at Apocalypse. And they're on some mission where they have to find Apocalypse and they have to find the kid Apocalypse and kill the kid and kill him while he's a kid. So. He's on he's on some.
He come like some Thanos thing. It's like, maybe we can raise him. No, just kill him.
You can't raise them, man.
You got Wolverine, you got Psylocke on the team, you got Deadpool and Archangel, and there's one bit where Archangel and Deadpool are trapped in some place, and they're trapped there for a while, and Archangel's just on the floor. He's like dying, and Deadpool is just basically feeding him. He's just cutting his skin and giving him pieces of his arm to eat so he can keep eating. Obviously, he's got his healing factor.
I remember you saying this before.
Bless you, Deadpool. Bless you. Gross, but bless you.
So is this a thing like with Superman? We agree with this level of evil.
Well, I mean, he turned evil not on his own. It's not like Superman where it was like he was forced into. You know, he just snapped, and that snap was like an emotional break.
Warren had
he had
a
an emotional break. With Archangel, it was a thing of like, he had a choice, and he was like, you can either sit here being depressed and miserable, or I can make you into a semi-god. And obviously, any blonde-haired man with wings is going to be like, sure. Like, you know? So, why not?
I feel like if Warren waited...
Bearing in mind, he was in a fiery plane crash as well, so he probably would have died if he didn't accept the offer.
Exactly. So, It's kind of like signing your name with the devil, not understanding what the.
You didn't read the T's and C's, man.
Yeah, so
T's and C's.
I feel like he wasn't a villain. He was just a puppet who did villainous things, and then obviously when he got, reconked in the head, then he was nice again because
Why is it everyone who's like? So Gambit was a horseman at one point. I swear Wolverine was at one point.
Later.
I know Gambit.
Yeah,
I'm sure Gambit. Why is it these guys get to be normal again and Warren Worthington is walking around pissed off?
He does.
Why
he is pretty sick with his Archangel though. That's the thing.
Remy.
He is pretty sick. He is pretty sick.
Yeah, he is.
I know he is. I ain't denying that. I'm just wondering why he's not gone up to Remy and be like, Remy, you're my boy. What happened?
That's the thing. I don't actually like it when he's not Archangel. I don't find him that interesting.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Because he can't do nothing. He's a dude with wings.
Yeah.
Let's be real. If we saw a dude with wings, I'd say for about a year it would be interesting. A year. 1 year.
Yeah. Especially if he can't pick you up.
That's what I'm saying. By the next year. By the next year, there'll be something new. Like, it'll be like coronavirus time. You know what I'm saying? It's something new.
Oh, no!
I'm just saying, there's something new every time. Don't show me a dude with wings and think I'm going to be like, no, you can't do anything. You can fly. Shit, all right, but I get in the plane. I can do that as well.
All right. Let's move on to the next one then. So the next one is Flashpoint,
go ahead.
2011.
Oh, this is all you.
So
I'm gonna close my window because it is cold.
The story begins. This is back in 2011. The story begins with Barry Allen waking up to a world that isn't his. In this world, Batman is not Bruce Wayne, but rather his father Thomas. Cyborg is hailed as the greatest hero in the universe, and Superman is imprisoned by the United States government. Perhaps
Tell them who the Joker is. Tell them who the Joker is.
The Joker is.
It's like a kid when you give them a present for the first time. They're like,
okay, for those who don't know, the Joker is Bruce Wayne's mother.
Oh my god, that's what I was like. I was like, shit.
See, now that's an interesting story.
And you know why she became the Joker, Isha?
Why?
Because she had a bad day.
Do you know what day that was?
No, but okay. What day was that?
Basically.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The day unlike any other. Parents and their son are walking their son home from seeing the poke of Zorro.
Okay.
They walk into an alley. A man
as you do.
Pointing a dazzling gun at them.
Oh, no.
Hey you give me those pearls, and you give me whatever you got, because I know you're that Wayne guy. And he's like, okay. And he grabs the guy. Thomas Wayne grabs the guy. He starts wailing on him, and he's beating the shit out of him. But then, in his haste, the gunman shoots. And who gets the bullet? None other than Bruce Wayne.
Oh no!
Martha Wayne cradles her baby boy.
No!
Then she looks like she's crying. She grabs her mouth. And she's laughing. With a bloody smile.
Oh, see? Now that's a good story.
It was
a
pretty
good story.
See,
Bitch, learn your Batman.
That makes sense. As a mother, if we're getting robbed and you try to do a heroic thing and get our child killed, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go mentally mad. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Also in Flash. Sorry, I really love Flashpoint. I'll get. But also Amazons and the Atlantis, the water people are at war. Because Aquaman, although he was married to Mira, had an affair with Wonder Woman. But then Mira found out and challenged Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman was like, no, and killed Mira with like a passionate killing thing. And then, I swear, I'm so articulate, I just can't get the words out. And then Aquaman's like, what are you doing? You're the side chick. You don't move in on the main bitch like that.
That's what happens when you effing up with the side. Okay, carry on.
You don't move on a bottom bitch like you're like, no, you don't do that. So Aquaman got his boys and he got his boys. And he's like, yo, we're rolling to Femus, whatever it's called. I'm gonna show these bitches what it do.
Wow.
And that's that. Richard, carry on. I'm done.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've just like described it. What more can I say?
Wow. That
pretty much everyone is a villain in that.
Yeah.
Except for
Batman
kind of teeters on the, and then there's Cyborg, the Shazam kids. Superman is locked away in some sort of bunker. He actually didn't land on the Kent farm. He landed somewhere where the government found him, and they kept him hidden. And when they find
skinny as well, isn't it?
It's like Alien. It's like Alien.
Skinny and malnourished.
It's like Alien Homid just didn't look after him, and so Alien Homid had to eat people. If you ever get a chance to play the game. Alien Homid's really good. I'm gonna keep talking about it because I love Alien Homid. I'm gonna get a tattoo of Alien Homid because I love Alien Homid. Anyway, but yes.
Superman was all malnourished and he had no vitamin D. And then when he did finally get out into the sun, he just flew away. He was like, "Bun this."
Yeah, I don't blame him. Like, he was like, I'm gonna get me some butter and cheese and I'm coming back.
I feel like I'm missing something.
But are we saying these are villains? Like, again, because the mum's having she had a mental break.
Yeah.
The biggest.
Yeah, she that was acceptable. I think Bruce Wayne, not Bruce, Thomas Wayne. I think he eventually killed her because he became Batman, but he was more ruthless Batman with a gun as well. So he took no shit. And also, what was interesting is that Tom King, that was just recently writing Batman for 80 odd issues. He brought Thomas Wayne back into the DC universe, and then you see some history with him training Catwoman as well. So,
I've got a few of those just sitting there. I actually might read those tomorrow because I haven't touched those yet.
It is worth the read. Man. I didn't mind Tom King on Batman. So yeah, that was Flashpoint.
That one. That's another villain, and that's one kind of like Superman. I'm with it, as in.
I understand. Yeah.
Do you know what I like about these villains? Charles Xavier so far, because this is based over the stuff we did last week. He's the only one I've got no empathy or sympathy for. He's just straight up evil.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of scary when you can relate to why someone would be a villain, because then you're like, ooh,
no, because think about it.
Okay,
all of what we said Charles Xavier could do, or even potentially could do, but I don't relate to him in any way.
Oh yeah, not in that form. Charles Xavier, like, I can't relate to him. Like, he's just obviously he knows.
That's more scarier.
Yeah, he knows, but it's a little bit scary when you're like, if I had a child and my child died in front of me,
you'll get a bit crazy.
I'm gonna go a bit mad.
Let me put it like this: when my son was at his last school, he was telling me about some kid who draped him up and threw him against the ground and pushed him up against the wall, and some other gangster shit that I'm not gonna go into. I was like, and this is just before I got him out of that school. I was like, I know you've told the teachers.
Sometimes you need to roll up in there.
That happens again.
Yeah.
Call me, get home, get to a phone box, get somewhere and call me. Or if you come to me over the weekend, let me know. I'm taking the day off and I'm coming there. 3 o'clock. I was ready to do it. I was ready. I swear. Because if you're drapes up my boy.
See, remember that video online with the girl? She goes, some girl took my perfect attendance pencil. Everybody was ready to roll up. I don't know this child from Adam. I don't know this child. It's like, she took your pencil, your pink attendance pencil, and didn't give it back. I was like, this girl is in America. I was like, how do I go fund her? What do we do? Who's the teacher I need to talk to? So yeah.
When you're like, you don't mess with people's kids, man.
No,
you mess with Superman's kid. Mess with Superman's kid, he's gonna take over the world because clearly the world can't take over itself. I get it. You mess with Martha Wayne's son, she's gonna go a bit Joker. I understand. She had a bad day.
Yeah, that's more than a bad day, boy. Yeah. But yes, but go ahead.
Alright, the next one is Ultimate Fantastic Four and Ultimatum.
Ooh, he's in there.
So this was in like the early 2000s. This was a kind of like a...
It's like 10 years ago.
20.
Oh my God. 20. Oh my God. We're not old.
This was a kind of reboot, not really a reboot, but an adjacent universe to the Marvel universe where... So Reed Richards, you had the X-Men, you had Reed Richards, you had everyone everything starting over again, but in like a more modern times, and actually quite a bit of the
slightly more adult.
Sorry.
Slightly more adult Ultimate Comics, slightly
more adult, and if you actually look at it, a lot of the MCU is based off of the Ultimate Universe. Blatantly. Like even their first mission together was an invasion by the Chitauri.
Black Fury was the big giveaway.
Was done based on Nick Fury, on Samuel L. Jackson. That's the whole reason why Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury now.
I remember the comic. Sorry, a quick sidetrack. I remember the comic. I was reading the comic. I remember exactly where I was. I was at this woman's house that my uncle used to go out with. I was in one of her. So I was spending the weekend there, and
I kind of want to hear that story, but go.
Right? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. And oh no, not like that.
No, I'm joking.
I just processed how it sounded. No, man.
Go ahead.
I remember there was a scene. There was a point. Fury was saying who would play them in a movie of the Ultimates, and I remember he said, "Who would they get to play you, Nick?" And he said, "Samuel Jackson." Yeah.
Look, if it works, it works.
Yeah. And then I saw an interview where Samuel Jackson was in a comic book store, saw that very same comic, and he was like, "Why does this guy look like me?" And then he went to go complain to Marvel and threatened to sue them. He's like, "No, don't do that. We're actually planning on doing a movie, and we want you to be Nick Fury." Boom, history.
Boom, shakalaka.
There you go. That's it.
Also, another thing that makes the MCU like the Ultimate Comics, because in the Ultimate Comics everything was pretty much based off of the Super Soldier Serum, which is what they did in the MCU.
So even the mutants as well was kind of based on that.
Oh, when that blew my mind when I found out that even mutants, then it wasn't like a next evolutionary thing. It was just science. It was just them trying to create the super.
Ultimates was good.
Anyway,
I didn't like that there were certain things they changed, like Wolverine and Nick Fury. I think they were related or something. I can't even remember. But there was something between them that I didn't really like. And Cable, was it Nick Fury? Cable as well. Anyway, they made.
They did some crazy stuff. They even did some crazy stuff with Deadpool as well. But there were some strange changes in there. But
go ahead.
Basically, with the Ultimate Fantastic Four now, Reed Richards was a jerk. Dr. Doom was a descendant of Dracula. Ben Grimm was unintelligent, and Sue Storm was the leader. The story took a huge turn during the event of Ultimatum. Reed Richards has his marriage proposal rejected by Sue Storm, and witnesses unspeakable atrocities committed by Magneto. This leads him down a dark path. He fakes his own death by blowing up his house with his parents inside. Richards then decides...
Sounds like a Professor X move, but yeah, go ahead.
Richards then decides to take revenge by sending a small faction of aliens to kill his former teammates, the operatives of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Spider-Man. Although that he was defeated and deformed in the process, Reed escaped and took on the identity of the Maker. He would go on to antagonize the Ultimate Universe several times, including incidents where he joined the Dark Ultimates, aka the Dark Avengers, and performed brain surgery on Tony Stark while he was still conscious.
I made my own version. I made my own Marvel Legend. Check it out.
He's definitely.
What the hell makes that you got on it?
That's a Weapon X.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Hilarious.
Nice. Yeah.
That's sick, right?
Nice.
So Reed is definitely
he's
a villain.
Loco, he's loco.
He was so local. He's even in the 616 now. So they've put him in the main Marvel universe now.
I mean, even when he was, the normal Reed Richards.
Oh, he's questionable as well.
He's been side. I've been side eyeing him. I'm like, okay, he does a lot. He's basically if Professor X was really smart at science. Yeah, because Walker was really smart at science. You know what I mean? Yeah. Basically, you know what I mean. So he's been a.
I feel like it's like a genius thing. I feel like when someone's too smart,
they get bored and try shit.
They get bored. They get bored. They do. Yeah. They try things that they shouldn't do, and I feel like they feel like they're above every and anything else, and any and everything else. So they get this mindset that just makes them pure supervillainy.
Yeah, they have lack of emotional competency. That's it. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
They base their lives off Spock from Star Trek, and that's it. That's it. End game right there, man.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking the other day, hypothetically, if like artificial intelligence takes over and destroys us, that scientist that was told not to do it would do it and probably die happy, being like, I did it.
That's what I'm saying, you guys.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying you guys need to watch Westworld, man. Westworld is. Have you been watching it still?
You definitely need to watch Westworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that soon.
Yes, we do. Next week we'll do a review. I need to binge the rest of it. I'm just like, I'm behind. But yes. Yes.
Remember in Rich, because I know you would have read it, Age of Ultron. Not the movie, you cinema goers, the actual comic book, which was pretty decent. It was alright. Two things missing. I'm going to tell you a lot of things. Two people that were missing from that, you're going to be like, what? Wolverine, Sue Storm. They were the stars of that. They were the stars. Wow. I don't know where the movie was going. Cause
for real.
First of all, it wasn't an age. It was like a weekend of Ultron.
Man said a weekend of Ultron. I'm done.
A weekend at Ultron's. Anyway.
We've got too many names in the show right now.
See, I always say I love good dialogue, and there was this really good bit of dialogue with Wolverine, Sue Storm, and a bunch of others, where basically Wolverine was saying we should kill Hank Pym. By the way, Hank Pym created Ultron, not Iron Man. Anyway, he was saying we should kill Hank Pym. They're like, no, we shouldn't. We should give him a chance. He's like, no. They were like, we should tell him, because if he tells him, then maybe he could change it. Wolverine's argument was, whenever you tell a genius something, they're going to try their hardest not to... They're going to try their hardest to do it, but also to see
to
if
rectify it.
Yeah, to rectify it. In which case, he'd end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So, just dead the man. And when I'm reading it, I was like, you know what? I'm not that attached to Hank Pym. Who's killing? I don't really care about Ant-Man.
Is Wolverine on this list?
You know where everyone knows where Wolverine stands anyway, so
Wolverine is there to do what needs to be done because everyone else is too pussy to do it, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Wolverine is probably the closest thing to me. I think the closest thing that Marvel has to Batman, even though everyone says Moon Knight, but I'm talking about personality. Will do what needs to be done. So
I don't know.
Anyway, next.
I don't know. So you're starting another tangent now, because Wolverine will blatantly kill people, but Batman wouldn't. Wolverine would have gotten rid of Joker a long time ago.
No, God, he would slice his face clean off.
I know that. What I mean is, Batman is the guy in the Justice League. Will do what needs to be done, not necessarily kill, but he'll find.
Yeah.
He's more brutal, where everyone else is just like, no, we can't do that. Batman's like, but we need to do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Wolverine is the one that's like, but we need to do it.
And I'm gonna do it.
Tell you, so. he would just go out to do it.
Wolverine, he was like, we talked about this.
He wouldn't even come to the meeting. He wouldn't even come to the meeting.
You just see it on the news headlines, like, a man was killed today. And then Wolverine just walks in. It's like, you're right. It's like, what did you do? I saw it. It's fine.
Marvel and DC know, because when they did the Amalgam universe, did you know about the Amalgam universe?
Yeah.
Where they Amalgam, where they fused the two universes. And who did You're so hilarious today. Who did Wolverine, do the fusion dance with? He did the fusion dance with Batman. So he became Logan Wayne, Dark Claw.
Gross.
Like He got worse than that. Like Storm and Wonder Woman were strange choice.
Yes.
Anyway, what are we doing?
Next one is Axis.
Oh, do we agree with the make? Wait. Do we sympathize, empathize with the maker?
No.
Yes.
He's straight up. He's straight
I don't think
up.
He's a punk.
He didn't have a bad day. He just got rejected. He just doesn't know how to deal with rejection.
Exactly. Move on.
Yeah.
Try back with us.
There we go.
Alright. Axis.
Okay, who's next?
Axis. This is a Marvel storyline. So the Red Skull, in true Nazi form, had been capturing various mutants and Inhumans, placing them in a concentration camp. When the combined efforts of the Avengers and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants tracked him down, Magneto kills Red Skull. Instead of simply dying, the Skull morphed into the more powerful Red Onslaught and rampaged across the country. The Avengers were only able to stop him by having Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch cast an inversion spell that reverted Red Onslaught's mind to that of Charles Xavier's. Even though it worked, the spell had unforeseen circumstances. So this is like from what we were talking about last week about Xavier doing evil things because Red Skull stole his brain and blah blah blah, became an onslaught. It caused several Marvel characters to change sides. Carnage, Magneto, Doctor Doom, Sabretooth and Loki became the new Avengers, while Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Medusa and Scarlet Witch all became villains. Jean Grey and all her students also decided that the only way to live in peace is to wipe out all non-mutants. The students created a chemical bomb that will kill anyone without the X gene in their body, and the new villain swore to help them. In the end, the bomb is stopped when Carnage uses his symbiote to wrap around the bomb, sacrificing himself. Doctor Doom and Scarlet Witch recast the inversion spell, which brings almost everyone back to their normal selves. This one actually, what good came out.
I mean,
that one was mad complex.
It's a long, complex story, but what came out of this was Superior Iron Man. I don't know if you remember that title.
Yeah, that's when he moved to Cali and
smoking on gin and juice.
He was hanging out with Bloods, Crips, SAs, and just became a dickhead.
Hey, Vato. Oh my day. So who's the villain and who's the good person?
That's what I'm saying. It's complex. Everyone
seems like they've
just switching teams.
All the villains are good guys, and all the good guys are villains. So
I mean, yeah, okay.
I can't. Yeah, this one's hard.
It was a massive, complex story, and even I didn't read all of it either. So, but I did. What I did like that came from it was superior Iron Man. His character was pretty. It was funny. It was like he was kind of Tony Stark, but Tony Stark to the max. Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just stopped giving a fuck, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that one we're gonna put a pin in it because there's way too much to dissect right there.
Yeah.
What's
also,
next?
Storm had a mohawk as well, so she was pretty sick. She looked.
Okay, Storm with a mohawk is always great. So
yeah, we like Storm with a mohawk. That's the only Marvel Legend
and
of
they
Storm
do
I've
have
got.
her as a Marvel Legend.
I would like to.
Yeah, they did have that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the Marvel Legend I've got.
I love Storm. Oh, we love her. I will play Storm one day. I will. I'll do it justice. Okay,
next
go ahead.
one is Avengers vs X-Men.
I think you do.
Ooh.
So this one.
Who was the baddies and who was the goodies?
Well, you like this one. You like this one.
Wow. Superhero Civil War again. I like it in the comics. Like a couple years ago, they kept saying that superheroes would just keep fighting each other. Like after Civil War 2, it's like it almost became a running joke.
Yeah,
they were saying, we fight each other more than we fight villains. It's true, they do.
Oh man,
Marvel does anyway. DC has it together. I'm just saying.
Yeah. For now.
Okay, so Avengers vs X-Men has, with most of the best X-Men titles, the story starts with a time-traveling mutant delivering an ominous warning. Cable arrives on the scene to inform the world that the Phoenix has returned inside of Hope Summers, who was his adopted daughter, and that the ensuing war between the X-Men and the Avengers would lead to a future dystopian wasteland. After a second messenger delivers the same message about the returning Phoenix Force, Captain America asks Cyclops to hand over Hope so that she can be placed into protective custody. Scott Summers refuses, kick-starting a war between the two teams. As the Phoenix Force approaches Earth, Tony Stark and Hank Pym attempt to shoot it down with a powerful weapon. Instead, it shatters into 5 pieces, bonding with Cyclops, Emma Frost, Namor, Colossus, and Magic. At first, the Phoenix Five try to use their omnipotent powers for good. However, they underestimated its influence and began to slip more and more into villainous deeds. Eventually, Cyclops steals the power of the other 4 team members and becomes the Dark Phoenix. He kills Professor X at the story's climax before being defeated by Hope and Scarlet Witch. Although the Phoenix Force is driven from his body, Cyclops' mind is forever tainted. So yeah, this was actually the last time Xavier got killed or died.
Yeah, because that man died way too much.
Like he died recently and came back. He died a few years ago. What are you on about?
Like the man
Kenny.
He can't die. He cannot die. Like he's eternal.
Yeah.
He is eternal.
I was like, oh my god, they killed Charles Xavier. You bastards, he'll be back in a week.
Yeah, man. Oh, okay.
With this one. Sorry. No. Ladies first, go.
I was going to say with Cyclops. Okay, because the Phoenix Force isn't evil inherently, is it? It's just is it a thing of like, does it amplify your deepest desire? Kind of.
Yeah,
I'm not actually sure about the Phoenix Force. Is it? Because I Rich.
I don't know. I think. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I know that. I know
because Jean.
What's that?
Gun.
I was just gonna say when Jean was the Phoenix, I never got this. She was the Phoenix and she was cool and she was helping everyone. It's like, I'm the Phoenix now. It's annoying, but I'm doing this. And then she just went evil. I was like, but why? I don't get it. What did I miss?
Well, in the cartoons, it was because what's his name? What?
I know it's the Hellfire Club screwed around with her. But at the same time,
I don't know. Maybe
X-Men
did
talk
about that one day. Like, go into detail.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Yeah. Because for me, I'm like, okay, if it's an entity and it enters you, I'm like, fine, and you can control it. It's not like a Ms. Marvel, you know, what do you call it, rogue situation where it's like, you took my power. You know what I mean? It must be a thing of like, okay, the goodness in you, cool, it latches onto that. But then if there's like a seed of badness, then it must do like, oh, let's see what happens when we go over here. Because otherwise, why would you go crazy? You just have great powers, or maybe you said, I don't know. Yeah, this is something we need to talk about here on the Source Wall. The origins of the omnipotent power that is the Phoenix Force.
So,
and is it evil?
The
is
Phoenix,
it just
the Phoenix is among
eternal?
the most feared being of all existence, having the power to cut and regrow any part of the universe as well as destroy it entirely, which is part of the Phoenix's purpose, the judgment of the Phoenix, to burn away the obsolete. The Phoenix Force is described as being the embodiment of the vast passion of creation, the spark that gave life to the universe, the flame that will ultimately consume it. So, yeah, she kind of creates and destroys whenever she pleases, basically.
So it's God, basically. The Phoenix Force is the universe, this version of God. So if the universe was like, I just need like an entity to be. Yeah. So it's like, I just make the Phoenix. So it's not bad. It's not good. It's just basically stay in line, or I go metal. Okay. We're figuring it out, people.
Yeah, we can still do an episode. We can do an episode.
Yes.
Is the Phoenix Force good or evil? We could do entities, but we start with
is
the Phoenix Force good?
There's way too many entities.
What I was gonna say, do the Phoenix Force. Is the Phoenix Force good or evil? And then we can go through the list of people who had the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Interesting. Look at you getting good content out of me times.
And
bringing you the source.
You know what? This whole thing of not being able to read or review or pull list comics is actually good because it's getting us thinking.
Yeah.
Episodes that we should just be doing anyway. Now that I think about it.
It's okay. It's all right. We're gonna integrate it once we come out of lockdown. So it's all right. But yeah. Okay.
All right, go for the next one. I'm really excited about this one.
Next one is World War Hulk. Sorry.
It's not Avengers Disassembled?
It was Avengers Disassembled. Sorry.
It is. Yeah, even I skipped one. Yeah, my bad.
No, we can skip that.
We'll
go ahead.
World War Hulk. Disassembled. Basically, the storyline was used by Marvel to regain interest of his flagship title and boost sales. The Avengers are perplexed when the reanimated corpse of their old enemy, Jack of Hearts, inexplicably shows up at their mansion. He suddenly explodes, killing Scott Lang. After the incident, several more horrific events happens. Vision is killed by She-Hulk, and Hawkeye sacrifices himself to stop an invading Kree warship. We come to find out it wasn't the Kree invasion or an attack by Ultron that caused this. The Avengers were betrayed by their teammate Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff was in a very bad place at the start of this event. Ever the opportunist, Doctor Doom offers to bring Wanda's dead children back if she allows herself to become possessed by an entity of extreme power. Of course, her possession caused her to turn evil and kill her old comrades.
Entities.
In the end, Scarlet Witch and the demon possessing her are defeated by Doctor Strange. But the damage was done. Half of the Avengers were dead, and everyone now sees Wanda as a villain. So
I feel like Wanda's been a villain though. Like, I mean, she's got a lot. Yeah, she's got a lot of a big chip on her shoulder. And she actually started off as a villain as well. So.
Yeah, her and her brother, who, by the way,
flip-flopping.
Some of you who might have come of age when the change happened, but and then you've grown up, you're 13 years old or however long it's been. It's like you may not know that Wanda Maximoff and
Quicksilver,
Pietro are Magneto's kids.
Are they anymore? They're not.
They are Magneto's kids. Right, this is what I'm saying. I feel like the only reason that was done was because the whole Marvel rights crap with the movies. They did it for the movies, and now we've got shit back. We can turn things back to the way they were. I guarantee you, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do a storyline where we find out, in actuality, that these are Magneto's kids. I'm telling you.
It makes more sense.
It makes more sense. Pietro's hair's white. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Does make sense. Yeah.
No, it makes more sense, and I feel like they only did it because of the movies, and I think they're gonna do. They haven't done it yet, but they'll get to it. I never stopped calling the Magneto's kids. I thought it was BS when they.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Yes, like come on, it was clearly just because of the.
Yeah. You know, it would be really good, but slightly a lot effed up. Like if Professor X. He adopted his children, and Jean and Scott were his daughter and son. That'd be mad.
Man.
That'd be mad. Can you imagine? That'd be mad.
They wrote that as a storyline. Oh my god.
That's counselling for like the rest of eternity.
Fans would rage. He would rage.
That's mad. That's crazy.
Don't do that.
I mean, I'm just putting the seed in there, but go ahead.
World War Hulk. After a heated debate, the Illuminati decided to send the Hulk into exile. However, the ship he was on ended up on the war-torn planet of Sakaar, where he was taken into slavery and forced to fight to the death in a gladiator-like setting. The ensuing Planet Hulk storyline sees him leading a rebellion to take down Sakaar's Emperor, being elected king, and taking a local warrior as his bride. Then everything goes to hell. The nuclear engines on the spacecraft that brought Hulk to the planet explodes, destroying the planet's capital and killing his wife. This is where World War Hulk begins. In rage, Hulk takes a small war party and heads towards Earth. He lays the smackdown on Black Bolt, the X-Men, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, the New Avengers, and the Fantastic Four. He then forces them to fight to the death in Madison Square Garden. The Sentry appears and is able to do enough damage to revert Hulk back to Bruce Banner. Hulk's war party is shocked when they see this. They didn't realise their king was really a puny human. One member of his party then reveals the truth. The explosion was an assassination plot by
Meek. It was Meek.
Spoilers, man. By loyalists to Sakaar's old emperor. Enraged, Banner becomes the Hulk and beats all of the members of the war party into submission. S.H.I.E.L.D. takes Dr. Banner into custody and locks him in a concentration vault thousands of feet underground.
Oh, man.
Where's my knife and fork? Let's do this one.
So, has the Hulk always been a villain?
No.
Right.
He hasn't.
No, never. He has never been a villain. And even in this situation, every one of those heroes got exactly what they deserved. I was watching the Hulk on Disney Plus, the 90s cartoon. And Betty said something which is so true of the Hulk. The Hulk doesn't attack unless attacked.
Yeah, true.
If you leave him alone, he will leave you alone. Even he's angry, dude just needs to calm down. Let him calm down.
He just needs to smash a few things and then go about his business.
But if you're just going to throw missiles at him and nuclear warheads and shoot the dude into space against his will.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, they shot me into space, bun them. I'm not going back. You don't want me there. I don't even want to go back. He was happy. So he made a life for himself, had a wife. Oh, by the way, just like Superman, got the girl pregnant.
Oh, man.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You don't mess with people's kids, man. You don't mess with their kids.
Oh, man.
And then the ship that you sent me in blows up. You don't think that I'm going to suit up, rally my boys, and come for you. That should have been called World War Hulk. That should have been called Hulk Justified because he was justified doing everything that that's the first time he became
World Breaker Hulk.
Hulk as well, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He went in. Shout out to Greg Pak who wrote that as well, by the way. That was so sick.
Man, like Greg.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Hulk.
That was just
in this instance again. It's like another Superman where it's an emotional break.
Yeah.
Very bad day.
Very bad year, mate.
Oh, bless him. So he's not really a hero. I mean, he's
honest,
not really a villain. He's just a product of bad circumstances.
It wasn't even. I was just about to say it wasn't even a bad day. It was a series of bad circumstances. Because you know, he was the Hulk. Right, we all know about the Hulk, but again, he was attacked, so he probably raged out. And then his friends, his teammates, his comrades in arms, saved. They need him as their trump card. Save the world X amount of times, and then they're like, you know what? Should we just
throw him under the bus?
They did it raw, man.
When we hanging out, can't we ditch him? Can't we ditch him? Instead of helping him, they're like.
Oh man. Okay, so he's not a villain. Yay!
Even in Civil War 2, man's is chilling. Man's is chilling in his house away from people. Nothing had happened. He's chilling. All these heroes show up at his door. Yeah, I had a vision from this guy you've never met. We've never heard of him. We've known him for about a day. But he said that you're going to turn into the Hulk and kill folk.
Yeah.
But I'm chilling though. I'm chilling. What is this? I haven't turned into the Hulk in like 3 years or whatever. But you're gonna do it. Well, one day I'm gonna do it, but I'm cool. It's
Oh man.
That took the piss. When I read that, I was like, nah, these.
Read Wusa.
We need to add the Avengers on this list of villains.
Well, they've been on here a couple times.
They've
been on here a couple times,
man.
Yeah, they've been there. Yeah.
When it comes to the Hulk, they do him dirty, man.
They do. Oh, bless Hulk. We love you, Bruce, man. We love you, Bruce, man.
So next is
who's next?
This episode is making me passionate.
Alright, we've
getting all the feelings out.
Yeah, we've got a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
We could do it to be continued.
We could get through this. I reckon we can get through this.
Okay.
Okay. Captain America.
We can do this because we're.
Oh, sweet! This one's on the list. I wasn't sure. I couldn't see it before. All right, cool.
Go ahead,
Captain America. Marvel brought back Steve Rogers to the role of Captain America. The role that was currently held by Sam Wilson. With the new series, Captain America Steve Rogers, fans were excited to see Rogers take the mantle once again after a short hiatus and with better time than now. What better time than now? Captain America Civil War was dominating the box office and people couldn't get enough of Marvel's first Avengers. Then they gasped the horror as the infamous words rolled off Cap's lips. Hail Hydra.
Fans went nuts.
Went crazy.
Oh my god.
So
they went nuts.
So this story was actually pretty decent. I think people went overboard. Like it was.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I really
did. This one was a good story.
Oh, dude.
And I think it suffered because of what people were saying, because of the outrage. So
this whole digital age, social media age, and they didn't give it a chance. They saw the thing, and then everyone went online and started voicing their opinions as they do.
Yeah.
Those thugs, and those tweet maniacs, and like I said, it suffered.
So the internet blew up with rage at the revelation that Cap had been a sleeper agent of Hydra. Some even went as far to make death threats against the writer. In the next issue, it is revealed that Cap isn't really a sleeper agent. He just thinks he is. So basically, Red Skull is using the Corbett, a young girl with the power of the Cosmic Cube, to manipulate Steve Rogers' past. Now Steve remembers that he and his mother were taken care of by Hydra when he was a poor boy from Brooklyn with an abusive father. Since the major reveal, Cap has gone on to kill 2 different villains in cold blood, and more are sure to follow. So yeah, this.
I mean,
This one was a circumstance, not really his fault as well.
Yeah.
He was a villain. I mean, he killed
villains.
No, he killed a few.
He killed Black Widow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He murked her. He cracked her skull wide open, man.
Okay, then he's a villain. Okay, yeah, full stop. Next.
What? Black Widow. She was gone. He murked
some
her.
respect on her name. I love Black Widow. But yeah, okay, yeah. He's an economical.
This isn't one where I agree with him. This is one where I empathize with him because he was basically manipulated by the cosmic cube.
Yeah,
it was a good start.
An entity.
I thought the story was good. I did enjoy it.
It was sick. It was sick. You had remember, because Miles had the vision from Civil War 2 that he was going to kill Captain America. And then this storyline happens, and he's like, "Oh, so this is why I'm going to kill Captain America."
Yeah.
It was sick,
man.
That sounded so good.
And just the thought of him being a sleeper agent all this time, it's like, God damn, man, this guy, man. All right.
But then when he lets everyone finds out he's Hydra, he doesn't waste any time in taking over. Like he took over. The Avengers, not even the Avengers, all the Marvel superheroes were underground. It was so sick.
Wow,
Such a good story.
Cool. See, now we know why Bucky was like, fam, we did. Yeah. Working for the same team. Like, I'm a sleeper agent. You sleeper agent. Like, you know, we can't be too sleepy. Okay,
Bucky was what they call a sleeper agent. Cap was a coma agent.
Yeah, for real.
Yay. Okay, the next one.
See, if you were articulate, you'd be able to come up with dope phrases like that, but you can't.
Ooh. We've got way too much time on our hands. Go ahead.
I really do.
The next one is Age of Apocalypse.
Apocalypse!
The Age of Apocalypse.
I love Apocalypse. Oh my god, I literally love him. Go ahead.
The Age of Apocalypse kicks off when Legion, the deranged son of Charles Xavier, turns back time in order to kill Magneto. Instead, he accidentally kills his father, erasing him from the existence and altering the Marvel timeline. Magneto becomes the leader of the X-Men, has a tribute to his fallen friend, and the evil mutant Apocalypse decides to attack the world 10 years earlier than he did in the original timeline. With the X-Men much more inexperienced, his plan easily succeeds. Apocalypse and his minions establish mutants as the ruling class of the New World Order and attempts to eliminate all humans. The only thing standing in his way was Magneto and his ragtag group of mutant rebels: Cyclops, Beast, Deadpool, Havoc, Daredevil and Bruce Banner all fall to the side of evil in this story arc, serving in various henchmen's roles to Apocalypse. Many of these fallen heroes are killed throughout the course of this story, including Wolverine finally getting his ultimate revenge on Scott Summers in their final battle. Magneto is able to muster up enough power to rip Apocalypse in half. Bishop is also able to go back and stop Legion's assassination attempts on Xavier, returning the timeline to its rightful place. So this one was obviously epic because it spawned characters. It was kind of in the animated series as well, but not fully.
Not fully. It was fun to see it. Whenever it popped up in the animated series, I was like, yes.
Yeah. I love it.
It was so popular that, because it was only supposed to be for that that storyline, and I think they made it a thing where it was like an alternate reality or timeline or whatever. Yeah. But fans loved it so much that they just kept returning to it. Even to this day, it's such a beloved storyline that they always return to. Even now, whenever I hear Age of Apocalypse, I'm like, sick. Wolverine with the stump and the claws on that hand. Yeah. And Magneto was doing things. It was sick.
Yeah, it was a good storyline, man. It was really sick.
Yeah.
Classic. It was a classic, man.
Are we saying Apocalypse?
It's a classic.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, it's unanimous that Apocalypse has been evil. However, we don't know his origins of why he was. I mean, he's doing
raised by a pharaoh, wasn't he?
but he's like he's doing a Magneto, but on a Magneto times a million, basically.
he the Pharaoh that actually kind of got him was actually what's his name? I was talking about him the other day in a comic.
Ra, Osiris.
No, it was
African.
Set.
I was talking about it in the Doctor Doom comic with Doctor Doom and what is his name? Why am I forgetting his name?
I was a Pharaoh,
it was a time traveller.
Anuk-Sunamun.
No, the time
Anuk-Sunamun.
I've been.
Why am I forgetting his name?
Rich is not going to be happy until he gets his name.
I seriously not. I should
We're gonna be done.
Really know his name.
He's gonna write it down for next week.
I was talking about him last week in in the Doctor Doom comic, and him and Doctor Doom was just having a mad conversation because it's like related to Doctor Doom, but it could be Reed Richards.
Okay, wait.
What's his name with the square head and he's purple?
Yes. How am I forgetting his name?
Was that him who raised Apocalypse?
Yeah, because he went back in time and he took over.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror. That's it.
Yeah, Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
There we go. We got there. I was looking at the old script. I was like,
sorry.
Where is it? I
was going to do that.
I can't leave this conversation without getting back his name, man.
Rich was like, everything is on pause until I get this name. Okay.
Yeah, Sean in the chat said Kang as well. She's like, Kang?
Thanks, Sean.
Right, so Kang was an emperor, and he he made the Apocalypse. Like, he didn't make him, but there's some history there.
He raised him to be evil. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, bless Apocalypse.
You know what, Apocalypse? Now, if it was a choice between joining the X-Men, the Brotherhood of Mutants, and Apocalypse's whatever he's got going on,
Band of Merry Men.
I'm not going anywhere near Apocalypse because I know he has because he don't favour mutants either.
He really don't. Like, even when he makes you into,
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
he don't favour
Four
you.
Horsemen, he's just like, no, you're expendable, fam.
You have to.
You just make a
to be powerful. You have to be.
My favourite line of his from the cartoon. I love this line. I am as far beyond
you as you
are beyond you. That is like the dopest line.
That was sick.
But even so, in that line, he acknowledges that mutants are superior to human beings. But he then says in the same sentence, but I'm superior to mutants.
Mutants.
You don't favour mutants. I'm sticking with that. Oh, man.
The only way you could get to Apocalypse would be if you were a female mutant, obviously, and then you slept with him and had a baby.
No, he's not even in that. He's not even on that.
Doing that. Like
I know he's not. But if you were able to get his DNA,
is going to be worthy enough to lay with Apocalypse? You know what I mean? Because that's how he's going to see it.
Exactly.
You dare lay your flesh upon me?
You'd have to then get his DNA and make a baby because I think that's the only way you'd ever slow him down.
The only way you can get a baby by Apocalypse is to have Rogue touch him, impregnate her, and someone else has to impregnate her, and then and she needs to stay Apocalypse while she's pregnant. They give birth to a half Apocalypse, quarter Rogue, and a quarter whoever the other guy is.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're getting on Apocalypse, baby.
That's hilarious. Someone write that. That would be great.
It would actually be a dope storyline, actually.
Yeah, it would be pretty sick.
The Spawn of Apocalypse.
Spawn of Apocalypse.
So,
okay, what we got next?
Next one is Superman Red Sun.
I want to reach.
Ooh, basically Brightburn. I'm joking.
Right, so this one, can we just give it the gist and then we can just go into whether or not. Yeah. So, because it's real easy. Remember when I said in Flashpoint, Superman's ship didn't land in Kansas with the Waynes, with the Kents. Mm-hmm. In Flashpoint, it landed with the government, an American government. In Red Sun, Superman's ship landed on Soviet land, basically. But he was raised by the Soviet Union, and you get Red Sun Superman.
Basically, Nazi baby.
Yep. I always got this one mixed up with thingy as well, with the government catching Superman before the Kents.
Oh yeah. But this is basically so. This one with Superman, I wouldn't say he's evil. Sometimes it's just your upbringing.
I mean, yeah,
it's your upbringing. He was raised by a Soviet communist country. He wasn't even raised by people, I don't think.
Wow.
He was raised by a government.
Also, if you don't want to read it, I would recommend you read it, but you can watch it because they've got an animated film now that just got released. Superman Red Sun, so you can catch that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Especially with nothing going on, what else are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Yay!
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna learn a skill? What, are you gonna learn a skill? What is this? Go watch Red Sun. Learn a skill.
You are learning a skill. You're learning how to not crash land in Soviet Russia. That's what you're learning not to do.
That L family needed to get their trajectories right.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Superman's biological dad was off by like the number 5%. need to carry that shit. Then you got your remainder here, and that's where you aim the shit.
Oh, I can't laugh no more. My cheeks. Okay, what's next?
Is,
okay, so Superman was evil. Go ahead.
Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
How, Sway?
X-Men fearing for Deadpool's health admitted him to Ravencroft Institute in order to cure his insanity. Little do they know that the doctor treating him was a villain Psycho Man, who instead tries to brainwash Wilson into doing his bidding. This brainwashing backfires. Instead, starts giving Deadpool voices in his head that tell him to kill everyone. He escapes and goes on a killing spree, taking out the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the Watcher, the Avengers, and most of the X-Men. As a final Hail Mary, Charles Xavier tries to use his telepathic powers to shut down Deadpool's mind.
Of course he does, because what else is he going to do?
Once inside the Merc's head, the Professor is horrified by what he sees and dies on the spot. Yay! In typical fourth-wall-breaking fashion, Wade Wilson enters the real world and kills the comic writers. It is later revealed that this version of Deadpool, or Dreadpool, is living in an alternate timeline, and our own 616 Deadpool sets out on a mission to stop him.
Oh wow! So Deadpool from ending, our timeline, our Deadpool is calm. This Deadpool has obviously been manipulated by something.
I don't remember that ending.
You know, so is he a villain?
He's just crazy. I think
he's just crazy. Like
he got turned mad. So he's
well, he's mad already anyway. But then he got even
true
more crazy.
I don't know with this one. I mean, 616 Deadpool has voices in his head already. They're just not telling him. They're not telling him to kill the Marvel Universe yet. To be honest, Deadpool is a ticking time bomb. Let's face it.
I feel like they all are, but
They're all just waiting for that one bad day.
One bad day.
It's a dope quote. It just works with everybody, man.
Alright.
Hey, don't push me. Don't push me.
Next one.
Okay, keep going because I have to go to.
If I don't we've got four more. Oh my god. Okay, so next one is Kingdom Come. Similar to Alan Moore's Watchmen, Kingdom Come's entire premise focuses on the dark and gritty turn of the comic book industry in the 80s and asks, does the world still need heroes? In the story, all the major DC heroes, minus Batman of course, has gone into retirement. Years ago, a wave of violent vigilantes appeared on the scene. These new heroes had no qualms about murdering their enemies in cold blood. The general public embraced these new heroes, claiming that they were more successful than the Silver Age heroes ever were. After one of the escapees of the new heroes goes airy and causes a major crisis across the American Midwest, Wonder Woman coaxes Superman into coming out of retirement to recreate the Justice League. At the same time, Lex Luthor and his Mankind Liberation Front wish to rid the world of superheroes altogether. He kidnaps Captain Marvel, brainwashes him, and sends him off to wreak havoc. Although Batman comes around in the end, it takes a beat down by the Man of Steel himself to bring Captain Marvel back to his senses. We won't spoil the rest, as Kingdom Come is a must-read for anyone who loves comics. I haven't read this.
I have not. I just want to say, because people are going to be like, what? Captain Marvel? What?
Yeah.
Aren't you talking about DC Comics? Right. Figure it out. I can't even be bothered. I'm done telling you. You should know. You should know your comics.
Alright, so Captain Marvel. Which one was Captain Marvel again? Captain Marvel is basically Shazam. Basically, yeah. That's it. Shazam. Captain Marvel came out back in the days around was it before or after Superman? He was after Superman.
He was after Superman, but I think because he was on Fawcett Comics.
Yeah. So
Fawcett Comics, and then DC bought Fawcett Comics.
Because Captain Marvel was actually.
He was he became more popular than Superman. Yeah.
And then something happened.
DC didn't like that.
DC didn't like that. The trademark ran out. DC brought the trademark, and a lot of legal stuff happens between them and Fawcett Comics, and then later on with Marvel and DC, and so
Marvel and DC. Yeah. I think Marvel winning that fight was annoying because it's clearly the judge was clearly someone who knew nothing of comics and was like, well, you guys are Marvel, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It actually bugs me. It actually really, really bugs me, if I'm honest. But whatever. It is what it is.
Alright, next one is Emerald Twilight. This one is a must read, although I haven't read it myself. But if you're into the Green Lantern,
I like that. Read it. I have.
Yeah, if you're into Green Lantern, then I think definitely a must read. Set in the aftermath of the.
I struggle reading Green Lantern.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I haven't read it either. Set in the aftermath.
Considering you're quite a space sci-fi guy,
I don't really like DC's sci-fi space part. I love the Marvel side of it.
Marvel likes it a lot when it comes to that, I will say.
Yeah.
So, except
for when it comes to Darkseid and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, go on. I keep interrupting.
So, set in the aftermath of the infamous death of Superman arc, Emerald Twilight saw the villain Mongol team up with Cyborg Superman in order to summon a powerful alien warship and conquer Earth. To do this, the duo needed 4 large desolate way stations. The position of one of these was to be Coast City, Hal Jordan's hometown. A rain of bombs were launched at the city, reducing it to nothing but rubble. Completely distraught and in a state of depression, Green Lantern uses all the power of his ring to create a living simulation of his beloved city. A Lantern is not allowed to use his powers for personal gain, and Jordan is informed that there will be repercussions. In a fit of rage, he defies the Guardians and vows to steal the main power battery, the source of all Lantern's powers, and rebuild his city for good. Hal Jordan travels through space and defeats Lantern after Lantern steals their rings and uses them to make himself more powerful. In the process, he kills his arch enemy Sinestro and fan favorite character Kilowog. When he finally reaches the battery, he absorbs all its energy and re-emerges as the villain Parallax. The last Green Lantern ring was bestowed upon Kyle Rayner, and Jordan would antagonize as a villain until his return to the light 10 years later in Green Lantern Rebirth.
So he's basically the Highlander. But
there can only be one.
There can only be one. And again, City got, totaled. Again, emotional break. But again, when you're doing an emotional break and you're like, okay, I need to kill people, a little bit of villain. And he's the villain.
I feel like he had a bad day, but it wasn't bad enough.
Yeah.
Like, if my city got destroyed, I love being from London, South London, Aylesbury Estate, what up?
East side.
Actually, we were from the east side. So we banged in the east. But anyway, what was my point?
So,
destroy it. I'll be like, all right, I'm moving.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He's a baddie. He's
straight villain. I find it, and the thing is, they knew that they fucked up, so they had to redeem him. They changed it so that Parallax apparently controlled his mind.
Oh, whatever.
Running with that shit. You had a shitty day, like a real shitty day.
Yeah.
Not even bad enough, because whatever. To that one,
yeah. They should have done a thing of like. Oh, sorry, God.
Sean's saying Green Lantern Blackest Night is good. So.
Oh. Yeah, I remember when that was happening, and I remember it was such a huge event, and I didn't read it. Like I remember it. There were Blackest Night comics everywhere. Then there were Brightest Day ones, and I didn't read any of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, man.
I missed out on that, man. I really did.
We can go back.
I can go back and read it, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
Two more to go. This one is your favorite, I guess. Batman Under the Red Hood.
Under the Red Hood. He's alive. He's alive.
Oh, let's do this.
Oh, I kind of want to watch.
Do you want to talk about it then?
Do I? No, go. Yes, you talk about it.
Yeah. Right, here's the script. Freestyle. So, Dick Grayson, I'm going way back, giving up the mantle of Robin. He became Nightwing. Batman needs a Robin, so he finds a boy. The original story was that he was exactly the same as Dick Grayson. He was in the circus and blah blah. Bun that origin. The decent origin is that he was a kid, a street kid, running the streets, doing regular running street shit. And he's out at night when he should be in bed, to be honest. And he sees the Batmobile, and he's like, "I'll probably make some money off those rims." So he actually, little thief, little tea leaf that he is, he jacks one of the Batman's wheels. Batman catches him, takes him in, trains him. He becomes Robin, but he was a hot-headed Robin. He was hot-headed, and the fans didn't like him. So he went after the Joker, unbeknownst to Batman, and then we had to call in and be like, "Do you want this kid to die? Because he's bumming us out anyway." And fans voted head. A few years later, he comes back. He was thrown in the Lazarus Pit, trained by the League of Assassins and Talia al Ghul, comes back as the Red Hood. The Red Hood! Pissed. Because during this time...
Yes, man. Sharing is caring.
Thanks, man. You guys don't know, but we got that, what do you call it? Whatever, I can't think of the word. Anyway. We got popcorn. Anyway.
You got popcorn, yeah.
During this time, as he had come back and lost his mind from being resurrected through the Lazarus Pit, he's studying Batman, and he notices not only did this motherfucker not kill the guy that killed me, this guy's just running around still killing people. Revolving door, psycho ward. He's just in and out like a dick in a vagina. I just said that. I'm sorry.
I mean, the analogy isn't false.
Anyway,
you know, go ahead.
I'm not happy with that. I'm really not happy. That's not me. I don't know where that came from. Anyway.
It's because the Dela Cruz woman upset you with the man in the beginning. Go ahead. Richards was like...
The Joker is in and out. And... yeah, so obviously Jason Todd sees this, and then... Oh yeah, then the other thing is like, and then Batman has the outright audacity to replace me. And not only did he replace me, it wasn't even that long. It was like a week or something like that. So
it was longer, innit?
He goes further crazy. Don's it was a bit longer.
It was
like a year or something. I don't think it was. Because Batman was still like mourning Jason's death, and he became really aggressive to like villains and criminals and stuff. He was like overly aggressive.
He died, and then he came back. Like he died in the 80s, right? And then
you can't do that with comics. Oh no, you are right, because he had grown up a bit as well. You're right. Sorry, my bad. It was a few years, because obviously Jason Todd would have grown up a bit.
He died. A while. Yeah.
Although how long?
Spoiler.
No, because Tim Drake would have. Yeah, I'm sure he took on Tim Drake not that long afterwards. Tim Drake had been Robin a few years. Where Jason, Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Where it wasn't that long that he took on Tim Drake.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was 1988.
Still really not happy with
that. He came back in 2005.
Okay.
So,
2005. But you can't do that.
You can't. But in real terms of it was a long time, like between.
Oh yeah, if you're talking like that, yeah. It was.
Yeah. So I thought you were saying that he came back after he died. Like,
I'm
a week after.
No, I'm just talking about anyway. So he decided to don the moniker of that used to belong to the Joker, the Red Hood. He became the Red Hood, and he basically started not even infiltrating. He basically muscled in on all the local crime gangs in Gotham, like muscled them all out, cut off all the lieutenants' heads of all the big bosses, made the bosses his bitches, and that was actually a dope thing to do, actually. And then, imagine you want to take over crime, yeah? Kill the lieutenants, take their heads, take them to the bosses, and say, "I did that. Work for me, or I'm going to do the same to you." Like, come on,
it's simple mathematics. It's
some gangster shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why is my favorite character? One of my favorite characters in DC.
Okay, right.
Anyway. He kidnaps the Joker. He lets Batman know through some clues that, hey, I'm Jason. I did this. You're a dickhead. I'm mad at you. And they fight and read the comic. It's great. Or the same as Red Son. You can watch the animated movie, which I would highly recommend.
Yeah. Wait, any DC animated movie?
That's what Sean said in the chat as well. He said Under the Red Hood is sick comic and sick animated movie. Didn't they just recently do the Red Hood? And wasn't it someone different under the Red Hood?
No.
Okay.
Jason Todd. I'm quite curious to know what you're thinking, but no, it was Jason Todd. And that's it. I'm not going to go into everything because I could talk about this for ages, and I think we still have another guy to do the list.
One more.
So, are we saying Jason Todd is a villain?
No. I mean, he is.
Don't be biased now.
He murked a lot of people.
Really?
No, I'm not going to be biased because when he came back, so that was the first time he came back. One of the other times he came back was after Bruce Batman had apparently died and Dick Grayson took over. Yeah, Dick Grayson. No. Ooh, let me go back a little bit more. When Batman died, there was a sick storyline called Battle for the Cowl, which was sick. And during this time, Red Hood became a Batman. He became a Batman. Tim Drake became a Batman. So there was two Batmen running around. And Nightwing.
Are you so excited that you're wheezing?
Yeah.
Okay, can you please get your asthma phone because you give me anxiety. I'm like, oh my god, my friend's gonna die. Oh my god.
What I was thinking about was Hush. Batman Hush. They changed the.
Batman Hush. Yeah, because I skipped that part. It's unnecessary.
Okay. See, we're giving our lives here for ultimate happiness of how happy this is. Go ahead, okay.
Right. So in Batman Battle for the Cowl, Dick Grayson was being a punk. He wouldn't take the moniker of Batman, even though Tim was like, "It should be you. You're the only one who can do this." But Jason Todd got his guns, put the cowl on, and he was running around Gotham like, I'm Batman,
So 100% Jason Todd's definitely a villain because when he's stealing rims,
but he had. I mean, I don't want to say he had a troubled childhood, but his mum was like a crackhead or whatever. His dad was like, he was one of the Penguin's thugs for crying out loud.
Okay, bless him.
And, and then I think he was in and out of like. Anyway, what was I gonna? So yeah, that happened in Battle of the Cowl. I think he almost killed Tim Drake. Then Dick Grayson had to beat him up, and then when Dick Grayson finally did take on the role of Batman. Dick Grayson Jason Todd went back to being Red Hood. Was running around Gotham, murking people again. Took on a little sidekick.
Okay.
Called, I forgot her name. She was one of the Professor Pig's victims. If you don't know about Professor Pig, he's a dope villain. He's crazy, check him out.
Name speaks for itself. So
and because she became one of his Dolatrons. Red Hood saved her.
I love it. Yeah, good.
And made her his sidekick. And then he just went around doing some dumb shit. I think he went to Green Arrow at one point and messed with his sidekick and said, "Hey, what are you working for this guy? We should come over here and let's do our own thing." And then he would do that for a while. He beat up Tim Drake a few times because he felt like Tim Drake. He was villain for a while. He really was.
It's okay. It's okay. He's a villain. Shit. I like Thanos, and Thanos is like the biggest. People say he's a villain, but for me, he just thinks in a different way. Okay.
He's not a villain anymore. He's not a villain anymore.
So,
he's not a villain anymore. He's an outlaw.
He's an outlaw. Okay, there we go.
I ride with that. I ride with that.
See how dedicated the man was? He was ready to give himself an asthma attack. Like, if I had said something, he would have been wheezing, telling you this whole story, you know?
Dedicated, man. Dedicated. Alright, so...
Okay, last on the list.
Dark Phoenix. We already kind of talked about her.
Right, let's skip the origin. Villain? Villain or not? I just don't get her.
She's a
I don't get
entity,
her. We need to do an episode. I don't get her.
She's not. It's like saying Galactus.
I feel like
Galactus a villain or not?
No, he's not. And I was just about to say, I feel like with some beings, it kind of transcends our basic human understanding of our bullshit.
I feel like Galactus is a little. I feel like Galactus is selfish.
No,
I feel like
Thanos.
Selfish.
Like Thanos.
I mean, but at least
let's talk MCU.
Yeah, but
let's
no,
talk MCU Thanos.
She's nothing like Thanos, though. You can't compare them.
Yeah.
No. What I was just gonna say is, even though you can villainize Thanos, in the MCU, his reasonings are quite reasonable.
But she doesn't.
So does that make him?
Yeah. I think the actual Phoenix Force isn't a villain, but when it's bonded with a human, then the wrong person or Jean Grey, then it takes up aspects of that character. So
that was a great line. The wrong person or Jean Grey, just Jean Grey on a whole. Okay, she's messed up. Yeah, go. So that was the greatest line. Go ahead.
Jean Grey has problems. She has a boyfriend who married her clone. Her boyfriend then married her arch nemesis. Her teacher dad is trying to molest her.
He said teacher dad. I'm done.
I can understand. Jean's probably got a lot of.
But the one thing Jean Grey does a lot is she harbors. She doesn't unleash what she's feeling. Yeah. And I think obviously with the Phoenix Force, it's like you have to just be, because you can't contain the Phoenix. You know what I mean? And if you contain it, then it's kind of like containing a genie. It's like at some point it's gonna get like a little bit upset.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So wait. I'm gonna do something I haven't done before. I'm gonna ask you. Sure.
The viewers.
Let me know. Villain?
Yeah. Villain or hero?
Yeah.
Let us know. Where does the hero
Bearing in mind, after she defeats the X-Men, she flies off into the cosmos. And while in space, the Dark Phoenix absorbs an entire star, destroying every single planet in the solar system and causing genocide. Phoenix returns to Earth. And Charles Xavier is able to subdue the entity. However, a race of aliens called the Shi'ar abduct the team and assert that Jean must be executed for her crimes. As the X-Men fight the aliens, Jean realizes what she must do. She activates a Kree weapon, killing herself and the Phoenix Force once and for all. Jean Grey's fallen death is easily one of the most important moments in comic book history and the ultimate tale of a good person who went dark. So...
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's Jean though. The Phoenix is like, rah, I need. If it's remember the Phoenix when in the animated series, she was in the sun, innit? So she was like, it came from the sun. So the Phoenix is like, I was just chilling. Then this Moni girl, came up here and was like,
had an orgasm in the sun.
You know what I mean? You know. And then the Phoenix was like, I might as well help her out. Because obviously I'm godlike. And then obviously came down, and she doesn't like to, you know, she's not good at articulating her feelings. So as the Phoenix.
So Phoenix is a hero because it saved Jean's life.
Yeah, but okay, maybe anti-hero, maybe anti. Yeah, it's a bit difficult when it's an entity, because obviously if an entity has been around for like eons and eons, and it hasn't troubled anybody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like. And then someone comes and infiltrates it, in a sense. You know what I mean? It's like a thing of like, well, just put it back.
Put it back where
you found it. You know what I mean? If you can even do that. Put it back where you found it. You know what I mean? So
it's a left it.
Yeah,
left it alone.
Left it alone.
Oh. So yeah, don't trouble unless trouble you. That's what
I've been seeing here, and all I've been doing is just thinking up episodes that we can do. Because you dropped the word anti-hero, and I'm like, that's a good phrase. That gets thrown around a lot. Wait, hang on. What makes an anti-villain? You got an episode right there.
Look at Rich is like, am I going to stay up all night doing this?
Yeah, we're doing.
Rich is, I know when Rich is like excited, but just a little bit of research. Because we've got people like Spawn, Batman, like you said, the Outlaw Red Hood. You know, we got, okay, we're coming back. Right. We're finding out if Sean thinks the Phoenix is
Sean, what's up,
he hasn't said anything yet. He's
okay, he's gone to get a biscuit. It's fine. He'll talk to us later. But we're at the end of the show, people.
Yeah, we're
a good 5-hour show.
It was a long one.
It was.
And now to do my review.
Boy band. But yes, issue 82. Thank you for joining us here at the Source of the Wall. You know, make sure, as Rich would tell you, to pick up our memorabilia, our merch. Show them the merch, guys. Show them the merch. See, my male models here are showing you the fall collection, spring collection of the Source Wall. Here we've got our hoodie and we've got our t-shirt that makes you look wham and, you know, keeps you warm and wonderful. So yes, don't forget to go to TEE Springs and type in DA, because we're ghetto like that. DA Source Wall.
And you can,
you know, not sauce, the sauce that you put on pasta, but the sauce.
You can get 20% off if you use the promo code dasource20. That's DASOURCE 20, and you can get 20% off.
20.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah. And
20%. We're practically giving it away.
We're giving it away. But yes, we'll be back next week with all the wonderfulness of lockdown mentality. But Kieran, what do they need to bring next time?
So when you come to watch our show, make sure that you don't forget to bring a sandwich.
Bring the crust. Thank
Love
you, guys.
and peace, guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Stay safe.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.